Okay, so we're going to go through the positives and the negatives just to finish off. I'm going to read out each of my bullet points, and you can both give me one sentence on each one, maybe. Some of them are quite self-explanatory, so let's just see how we do. So, automating repetitive tasks and becoming more and more efficient.
I mean, that is useful.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's quite a self-explanatory one. How about healthcare?
I see it having a big impact on diagnosis.
Yep.
I know one of our tutors actually, he works for, I can't remember which company again, but he went off to become he was doing machine learning, stuff like that. So he went off to work for a healthcare company that works in diagnostics, and using these AI tools to actually find out what people have, and predictive models, so they can work out whether someone will have like cancer or something like that.
Yeah, I think AI will really help with like individuals' healthcare, just putting the knowledge into your hands without necessarily relying on a medical professional as much. I do think that official diagnosis is really important. We shouldn't be handing around medication to just anyone without understanding exactly what they need it for. But I think having the knowledge in your hands and the models, like you said, to track down your symptoms to a diagnosis, as opposed to how it used to be, which is like something's wrong with me, am I dying? Answer is yes, you probably are. If we can make that more sophisticated, then people can trust themselves a little bit more and their own research a little bit more, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
It could cut our NHS waiting lists.
Especially with the waiting times that we have. We can't just rely on doctors because we can't see them all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of a perfect thing for running millions and millions of data sets and models to see what outcomes are going to happen. So diagnostics, disease progression as well, personalized medication.
Yes,
that sort of stuff.
Because they can test they'll probably one day be able to like scan you and take your blood and stuff like that, and then just automatically churn out a perfect.
Just an MOT.
Yes, basically
MOT,
proper MOT. Yeah.
Accessibility. So I've seen, obviously, Apple Vision Pro's just been released. I'm sure that will have something in there to do with accessibility for people that can't see or hear very well. They also released a voice. I think it's called personalized voice. Did you see that?
No, but I mean, even I find like when driving or something like that, like just using Siri to play something.
This is different. So what they've done is you record 10 to 15 like phrases, and if you lose your voice, it will speak for you in your voice.
Okay.
Or if somebody else wants to take your voice, they can do that too.
They can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's AI, and it was pretty impressive from what I saw. So how is accessibility going to be affected by AI? So like vision, hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I think technology is all like advancements in technology is always going to help people that are struggling the most, because if you're struggling with accessibility, it's because you can't access it in the normal way that everybody else is. That's kind of like the disabled experience, is like you're disabled because everybody else is able to do this, that and the other. So if technology can creatively create a detour or a alternative plan for somebody who can't access something in the normal way, then more and more technology is only going to increase the chances of that.
Yeah.
Was it bionic arms? Like that? Yeah, like I've seen quite a lot of very sophisticated bionic arms, and they literally like restore someone's ability to live like a normal person. So with an arm.
I was just thinking of IT Crowd with his Space Star ordering and his helicopter in his robotic arm.
Yeah, so yeah, I see that's useful, but also I think Elon Musk made that point where if people own the AI and it's open source, then that makes a massive difference to, you know, our ability to control it. So yeah, like having open source solutions for people is important. But the more it's sort of funneled to the extremely wealthy or nefarious parties who can use AI for bad things, essentially, the more of a problem that's going to be.
Okay, we spoke about education, but we spoke about it in sort of relatively negative. So what are the good things that AI could bring? Just a quick sentence or two.
Yeah, one of the positive things I was thinking of earlier is AI's ability to individualize learning. So get right to the exact level that a student is at and meet them there and give them steps and stages and rewards and encouragement that is exactly designed for that individual student.
Yeah.
That's got to be the best thing we can get out of the processing power of AI is it's going to target down
learning,
to how you're learning in that moment, as opposed to putting a brush across this is the year group.
Children,
They're all this age, so therefore they learn in this way. It will really kind of get to meet the child where they're at, and that could be really good, put to good use.
Mm-hmm. I think it can empower teachers a bit and actually reduce their workload significantly. But, you know, obviously it has to go through their filtration process. So a teacher can recognise when a resource or something isn't going to be that effective for their students. So I think it will help them quite a lot in that regard, even though it has loads of negative consequences. I think if you give too much AI to children, it's
I'd just like to say like one thing as well on the whole technology and education thing, because I was working in a school recently and they were like implementing more and more technology, like data collection on students' progress, and you know that's going to be used to calculate their levels and what they do next and all these sorts of things. But I guess the one thing I would like say, if I could, you know, put a halt on technology or AI, you know, getting into education, is like to not forget that, you know, children are, you know, they can surprise you. Like they can make leaps of improvement that you couldn't have calculated in a model, or they could just be having a really bad day, or, you know, emotions and very human things are at play within a school, even though we're building in technology to make it more efficient and more, you know, kind of like a system. You know, we need to allow room for a child that all of a sudden just walks in one day in a completely different place in their progress than they were yesterday. And we don't just say, oh, the computer said you're not there, so can't calculate that within my algorithm. So, you know, that's the one thing I would want for the education system, is to
not lose that.
Just have a relative amount of freedom within the systems that they're creating.
Yeah, I think it's better to think of children not in terms of, say, ranking them or that kind of thing. It's better to just think, what don't they know, what do they know, and, you know, focus on what they don't know and strengthen there, rather than thinking of them as, you know, this student's here and this student's here. It's just that student knows a lot more than that student, so that student needs to learn more.
But what do they also know, and what do they also flourish in outside of the box? Because a student that's really struggling with English and maths might flourish in English, maths, science and every other language if you consider the fact that they're really good at playing piano and you encourage that talent, and that boosts their self-esteem, and as a result has an impact on all their other progress. So again, like we could work it out through calculations, but I doubt that a technology is going to suggest, oh, have we asked that child if there is anything that they do enjoy or they are good at, and we could help with their confidence. Their confidence might be the issue rather than their ability to process English and maths
and like
science.
Problems at home as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's all got to be not left out of the equation.
Okay, I'm going to just go a couple more quick ones I've got on positives. So things like security and fraud. Because it's very easy for a model to run through and see anomalies in that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I guess it will bring both negatives and positives, won't it? Like, as in there'll
be on both sides of the fraud thing. Yeah,
there'll be probably massive leaps in innovation when it comes to security, and also for companies that are unable to or struggle to upgrade to the latest form of like
us.
That could also be an issue both ways.
Yeah. And last one, social good.
Potential to go either way.
Yeah.
Like same with security, really.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll be a disaster. But I've always thought that
we're all doomed.
I remember, even when I was, because I was thinking about this problem at school, and I was like, because I think I'd heard of the singularity when I was like 13, 14, and I was thinking about it. I was like, this is going to be bad. Like someday this will bite us in the butt, basically.
If you think about it, there's, we spoke about ants earlier as being this like limited life form that, we look above, like, maybe that's just where we're heading, and like ants still exist.
Yeah.
They just do their ant thing.
Yeah.
And maybe we're just going to be the ants of the AI world.
So to a super intelligent like being that came to this earth, like an alien or something like that,
we would be the equivalent of like a chicken or something.
Yeah,
we probably we would look like idiots.
But maybe that isn't the worst thing. It might just kind of knock our ego a little bit, but probably.
Well, it depends. If they farm us like chickens and eat us, then it's a bit different.
Hopefully they don't eat us, but they might just leave us alone like ants. I don't know.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Education Lounge podcast. If you want to watch some other clips, click here. If you want to watch the full episode, click down here. Please like and subscribe, as it really helps our channel.
The Education Lounge podcast.